Well, good evening and welcome back to MysticHour live podcast right here on Proficiency Bonus about all things mystical and nerdy. I'm your host, Kristy Mysticwater, and each week we talk about all the awesome geeky fandoms, hobbies, and cultures. And today is a day I've been waiting for many years and also many months for this episode of MysticHour. We are going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts because Kingdom Hearts 3 launches next week and I'm so excited. So with me today... Actually, before I get into that, I'm jumping the gun here because I'm excited. Big shout out to our sponsors, DiceBar.com. They are a Vancouver-based dice company. They sell dice sets and D&D merchandise. And if you enter the coupon code PROBO, P-R-O-B-O, at checkout, you get free expedited shipping to anywhere in the world. Also, thanks to our supporters of the stream, Streamlabs, Team MZ, and OBS as well. Woo! What just happened? Oh, we lost somebody. We lost Lip! Oh no! I'm gonna take us over to the main page even though Lip's not here. Oh,
Poor
no.
Lip.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Well, this is great. This is how MysticHour tends to start with
Very good.
with technical difficulties. We wouldn't be proficiency bonus without this type of shit happening. So this is great. I mean, I can see myself. Can't really see Dale though.
You can see my very elegant painting in the background.
God damn it, Lip. Where are you? All this is your idea. Hang on.
It's all Lip's fault. Which way do I have to go?
Oh, now you're Lip. Now we're both Lip. Hey.
I don't know what's happening. I don't see any change in anything. Oh, there we go.
Well, welcome to MysticHour, guys. Today we're going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts and maybe doing some recap and, of course, speculation on what to expect for Kingdom Hearts 3. We have a lot of topics going, but I want to wait for Lip to come back. He's in chat. Where are you?
There we are. Come on, Lip.
Come
you
on.
can do it,
you
buddy.
You got this, BB. You got this. Oh, jeez. Discord decided to update now. Sounds about right. Sounds on par for Discord. Well, how about we start with the first question for you, Dale, since we have time. Let's go over the games we've played.
Alright, you start because I believe my list is longer.
Yeah, your list is longer. I think I've played pretty much all of them except for... Oh, we got Lip back. You're still muted, though. I don't know if he can hear us. Anyway, I was playing, the only game I didn't play in full that I didn't beat would probably be Chain of Memories, and Recoded I didn't beat either. Also Dream Drop Distance, I got through half of that one, so those are the three that I didn't finish.
I could rant to you about Dream Drop Distance. That was some shit.
I know.
But I have played 1, 2, Chain of Memories. What the hell came on the DS? There was Recoded was there.
Recoded? Yeah.
There was another one as well.
Right.
358 over 2 days. I
played that one. Yep, I finished that one.
I played 1.5, 2.5.
Yep.
Probably 200 hours.
Yep.
And I've seen the movie.
Yes.
Did you play the mobile app?
I did, actually.
Oh, I haven't played that one.
I have
Key Chronicles.
I have a Supernova Kyrie in that, and a Supernova Xion in that game.
What?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Wow, I'm not the Kingdom Hearts fan I thought I was. Damn.
And I read one of the Kingdom Hearts mangas as well. Fun fact.
Ooh.
Did you read the one about the five masters?
No, I read the one. It came out right after Kingdom Hearts 1 did. And it was basically like a manga version of Kingdom Hearts 1.
Oh, I think I've seen some of those, like some scans of it, but I've never read it in full. What was the other manga though?
There was one that basically, so they made it into if you played 2.8, It is a
I played
movie-based version, and they took that entire story and just made it a comic book. Because a lot of people were actually pretty upset that 2.8, that storyline, there was nothing to play. You just watched a movie, essentially.
Yeah.
But in that, they had the same story, but it was a manga, and it gets a little bit more details that connects to the mobile app and like why you were running around this random town as this character, and why you're fighting the beast that you're fighting. The mobile app to me made no sense whatsoever. I was wondering what on earth was happening, and it wasn't until this movie / comic book came out that I was like, oh, okay, that place makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yep, the 5 masters, the OG Grandmaster.
Yeah.
All sorts of shit happening.
I had no idea either. I had to watch kind of like a recap movie thing on YouTube to explain that to me, because I was completely lost on that part. Like, what is happening? But that is Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell, is what is happening.
What is happening?
Yeah.
We're going to explore a little bit about what is happening.
Yes.
Hopefully. I'm going to rely on you guys for that, because my memory is shot today. I've had an emotional roller coaster ride of a day, and my memory's just gone.
I will do my best to help you out here, Kristy.
Okay, help me
Fill in
out.
blanks where needed.
Okay, so we've Lip, did you want to cover which games you played, or was it everything?
Most of everything that Dell mentioned. I haven't played. Nope, I played that one. I haven't. There's one that I haven't played.
Was it Dream Drop Distance?
Nope, because that was a part of 1.5 and 2.8 and 6.7. That last one was like all the points put together. It was interesting. Obviously, I haven't done. Apparently, they said that there's pieces in the legacy bundle, like everything up so far. There's hidden scenes and like 100% completion story rate that's in there. I figure I'm not gonna buy everything up till now when I've played literally everything up till now. So, and I haven't gotten through like most of the story of the mobile app, so I can't really tell you what happens in the mobile app. But yeah.
What was the one that was on PSP?
Birth by Sleep.
Okay,
yeah, Birth by
so
Sleep.
I didn't get to play it on the PSP, but I definitely got to play it when it was re-released. And that one
you
I
never
actually
got the Mirage Arena co-op.
No.
You never got that co-op.
No.
So good.
I didn't.
Talking about that board game from Birth by Sleep. crazy, ridiculously hard board game.
Yeah, I've heard about it. It's pretty much the equivalent of the fucking cards and fucking.
Oh, Shade Memory. Can we just? I'm just saying this right now.
Can I just rant for a minute? Can I just rant for 1 minute? Because I was on a determined quest to beat them all in order. I get to freaking Chain of Memories and I'm like,
you're just like, nope.
Fuck this shit.
Although unfortunately, Chain of Memories does have really important story points to it.
Yeah. I know, that's the hard part. I didn't even get 50% through. I rage quit.
Yeah. Yep. And I know exactly.
So I just watched it on YouTube because I was like, I can't.
I got all the way up to the second to last boss on Riku's storyline, and I couldn't fucking beat it.
Wait, did you get up to Marluxa? The last, no, not last.
That took me weeks to beat. It was so hard. I played it on the Game Boy. Like, it was impossible.
Because the number of beams that come out at the end, and then you run out of cards, and you're just like, what? I'm out of cards. I can't fight anymore.
It's so impossible.
You just take it.
Oh, wow. Yep, no. Yeah, we can just pretend that game didn't happen, and just the cutscenes did.
Only the cutscenes.
Only the cutscenes. Yep. So is that the only one you didn't play? Which one?
Yeah, I just didn't do fully the mobile app. It took me a while to do 365 over 2 days.
Oh, really?
But I eventually got to that as well.
Why did it take you so long? Did you feel like it was just a drag, or?
No, I didn't have the system. I remember when it first came out. Was that the one that was on
the DS?
Yeah, I didn't have a DS for the longest, and then eventually, when I got to college, my roommate left his DS there.
Convenient.
Took it, I went to go get the game and I played it. I was like, cool, this is what it was like. This is what I was missing out on. Because at the same time, that was the same one that No, it wasn't Birth by... Yeah, 365 days over 2
Yeah, I
days,
played that one
then
way before Birth by Sleep. That one I...
Yeah, they came out at the same time, and
Yeah.
I remember I played Birth by Sleep, and then it wasn't until later that I got to play the other one.
I was very jealous because I wanted to play Birth by Sleep, but I didn't have the system, so I had to wait
it was
until
so good.
recently.
It was really, really good.
I'm very jealous of the PSP owners because I was like, God damn, all I get is a DS! It's okay, I love Axel. I wasn't all that upset because I love Axel so much, so it's okay.
Which he has a different name? No, sorry.
We're jumping the gun!
Yeah.
Hang on a second!
Yes, and there is a reason for that. And
We'll get to that! We'll get to that! Slow down! There's so much to talk about! Yeah, I haven't played the mobile app. I didn't finish Chain because... And I didn't finish Dream Drop. I got over halfway, but I didn't finish because I was living in Japan when I had it. So I had priorities. I was seeing my Kanjani 8 in person. I had priorities. So I didn't...
Drop.
Yeah, I didn't
So
finish
many
that one.
opinions about Dream Drop. So many
I
opinions
know.
about Dream Drop.
What's another one I didn't finish? I didn't finish Recoded. So those are the... And the mobile. So those are the only ones I didn't finish. But yeah. That's pretty much it. The next one you have listed here, Lip, is favorite characters and worlds.
So,
Go ahead.
Tron.
Are you saying you
Tron.
love this world?
The world itself was not
No.
the first one. Not the first
I
one.
fucking hate you if you say
Tron
that's your
is
favorite.
trash.
I hate
No.
Tron!
Not the first one.
No,
Tron
Kingdom Hearts
Legacy.
2 Tron was trash too.
I hate
It was so fun.
It was bad.
I loved everything.
Wow,
One,
Lip.
I love the movie.
Get the
I love
fuck
the
out.
movie
Light Bike was
so
so
much.
terrible. It was such a terrible
Thank you,
mechanic.
Dale.
It
This
was
is why
so
we're twins.
bad.
I hated Tron. God.
I want
And
to
then
hear
his goofy looking character just jogging behind you, like nah, Tron can.
yeah, the character animations for both of them were pretty awful. I would like to say this: any of those like live action films that made their way into the world, like Pirates of the Caribbean, it just looks really bizarre as like live action CGI.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Jack Sparrow.
I love that world, but I feel you.
It's so odd to look at.
It is kind of jarring. Yeah.
And what are you all's opinions? I'm willing to hear.
I have strong opinions about Tron, but they're not positive. They've never been positive. I've never got into the movie. I never got into that fandom. And I'm sorry if there's any Tron fans that are watching or listening. I am not a fan. It's never been something that's piqued my interest. And so when that was put into Kingdom Hearts, when I first played, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I keep getting lost and I hate it. So, yep, that happened. My favorite world... I mean, I'm a fan of Traverse Town. I spent so many hours there.
Stop it! I have to pick a different one now.
Wait, that's not. That seems like such a cop-out one though, because that's the one that you go to get to all the other ones.
Right, that's like your first one. Although, okay, I will say I probably have one more favorite one.
What, Radiant
And that's
Garden?
Kingdom Hearts 2.5 Radiant Garden, because
Radiant Garden, bitch! Get
there
out of
are
here!
so
Get
many
out!
boss fights there. You fight
Yeah,
Sephiroth.
that is
Yeah.
You
true.
fight
Yeah.
all of Organization 13
Yeah.
data form.
Yeah.
You get the 1 vs 1,000 Heartless battle. Like, you get so much content in Radiant Garden. And then, in Birth by Sleep, you go to Radiant Garden. Like, it is...
When it was written, yep.
That I would definitely agree
Traverse
with that.
Town and Radiant Garden are my top 2 as well.
I like
and
Tarzan
Traverse
World, though.
Town, it's like
I like
when
the
you
Tarzan
leave
World.
into like that secret little tunnel and find the big mansion, like that's where you find Navine, and I'm just like, Traverse Town.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, that wasn't in Traverse Town.
Wasn't it?
No, that was in Kingdom Hearts 2. That was in whatever. What the hell was that?
Garden Bastion.
Oh, Bastion. Was it the Hall of Bastion?
No, it was like Daybreak Town or some shit like that.
Am I remembering wrong? Fuck,
Hold
I told
on,
you my
hold on.
memory's out of it. Anyway.
Wait, you said nominate. I'm thinking of. See, this is my problem with Organization 13.
Okay.
Their names. The short-haired she was in Chain of Memories. two strands in the front. Organization 13 member. She had the.
I know exactly who you're talking about, but I don't know her name either.
She was my favorite. She was in Hollow Bastion. That's where she. Are we doing spoilers? Should we do a spoiler alert?
I mean, if you're watching this, we're doing spoilers from the beginning of the timeline to Kingdom Hearts 3. So yes, spoilers ahead. If you haven't played any games, or you've played most of the games but you're missing some, there's probably spoilers here. Especially if we're going to be explaining shit.
It may be a jump into like the moments of the Kingdom Hearts timeline, but the moment that she died.
Wait. Let's back up. Who's your favorite character, though? Is it her?
Twilight Town. That is the name of the place. It's Twilight Town.
Twilight Town. Yeah. Okay.
That's the Kingdom Hearts 2 starting place.
Yes, that's where you're playing Roxas, and we'll get into that as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
The characters. I like the idea of what Riku is. I hated Terra.
Back the fuck up.
Dang, he's coming at you, Kristy.
Yes.
Back the fuck up.
I feel like they put so much work into the other two, and they just tacked on a lot of Terra stuff, and then put so much weight into the stuff at the end. I'm just like, why are you trying to make I get all of them have to be carbon copies of the kids are the carbon copies of these three.
Is it weird that Ventus was my least favorite?
I didn't really like Ventus.
Ventus is a bitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it's not just me.
Darkness
yes, he was
of
very
me.
whiny,
okay.
and I wasn't really like Aqua and Terra outshone him a million to one. Like I was like, these two are, bae.
I would say out of those three, it would definitely be Aqua.
Duh,
Terra,
that goes without saying.
You know, Ventus is like the Chinese knockoff of Roxas. Like, that's what he makes me think of. Like, he's not nearly as awesome as Roxas.
He's like that
and he's more
non-name
annoying
brand
than
Pikachu mascot that you see at the mall.
No.
It's not really Pikachu, but it looks exactly like Pikachu.
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite characters are Kairi. Riku used to be, but he's kind of fallen ranks. But Kairi will always remain my favorite. But Axel, baby.
I would definitely say Axel. I definitely agree. Axel is one of my favorites.
Riku's top 5 easily. Top 3, top 5.
What about you, Dale?
I guess I'll give you my top 3.
Oh, I'm missing
My
Aqua.
favorite
She's in top 5 too.
Is
I can't.
Aqua.
Yeah,
my favorite is Aqua. Then I have to say it's probably Xigbar.
Oh.
After that,
because of Dream Drop Distance.
Because of a lot of things.
His fighting style is absolutely amazing.
It is. Or is Xigbar the one with the pistols? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Dual wielding pistols. Gunsinker class for anybody who plays Dungeons and Dragons.
Then I'm kind of 50-50 between Diz and Roxas.
I'm very curious why you.
I do.
I don't
Roxas.
disagree, but I'm very curious why you picked Diz.
Yeah.
Diz, because he is such an integral part.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say it.
Of the entire story, because the things that Diz does literally makes it possible to save Ventus and Aqua.
All I'm saying is the same argument can be made about Ventus and his heart, but nobody's putting him at the top.
Because he's a whiny bitch and it's his own fault.
He should have sucked up the darkness, except, instead of expelling it like a bitch.
I love Roxas so much more than Ventus. Roxas is such a great...
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Xion is definitely number 2, and then
Xion. I forgot about Xion.
Yeah, Xion is definitely.
People I want to.
Yeah.
It's hard to put a number
I can't
one
think of her
aside
name.
from Kairi.
Is it Maxina? Max? I can't think of her name, but she had a really cool set. Dual wield. Most of the Organization 13 dual wielders were just really badass. Which is why Axel's up there. Aqua and Axel.
Yeah, they're definitely top tier.
They're definitely top tier for sure.
Same, for sure.
Question for you all. The Aqua side game, the 2.8 featurette game.
Yeah.
The best.
Yes.
Yes.
The best.
Visually
Like, the
stunning.
combat-
Everything
Actually
about
amazing.
it was like the aesthetic.
That
gameplay-
Unreal Torrent Engine 4
Wow.
is so good.
So good.
It's like,
Like, it is amazing. That
Yes.
0.8 little bit really made me excited for just the visual graphics of this game.
Yes. All of the
I
above.
definitely. I know this is jumping another game, but I just add to answer that question down the line. I am hoping that 3 looks remotely like this. in
I
its
mean,
game.
with the previews I was able to play at PAX West, it comes close. At least the settings that they had us in, like, it wasn't quite as aesthetically pleasing as where Aqua was, but you could tell with the amount of cutscenes that we were shown, it's... I'm so
Pretty close.
excited!
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited for it.
I don't even care that I got to play that part. I want to play it again and again and again. Which I did every single day at PAX. Humble brag, not so humble. Yep. Lip, I need you to read questions. I don't have it up right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. So, the chunkiest question that we have, the mega question,
Is it the one I think it is? Yeah, I know what it is.
So, explain to us, Dale, I'll have you start. What exactly is
Oh,
a
Lord.
Kingdom Heart? And what the hell is this game?
And go.
So, we'll start with what is Kingdom Hearts, alright? Because that one is, oddly enough, significantly simpler to answer than what is going on with this game. Kingdom Hearts is kind of like the light of all worlds. It's the thing that connects everything. And now, whether this is some kind of metaphorical power, kind of meant to represent something else, such as friendship or love, as the game continuously uses, is up to debate. But it is kind of this light, this eternal light. Now, Kingdom Hearts lives in the realm of darkness, and that confuses some people. Like, why is the light in the darkness? Because that was answered in Birth by Sleep. So, what basically happened was there was all this light, and people started getting greedy over it and started hoarding it, trying to get more and more powerful, and then that created darkness. And what happened is the light within children's hearts is what kept it going, but Kingdom Hearts was forever lost to the darkness. So what happens in Kingdom Hearts 2 is they're trying to like lure the real Kingdom Hearts by feeding it a bunch of people's hearts. So that thing that you see in the sky in Kingdom Hearts 2 is like they're giving it all these hearts.
Yeah, the big
to
gold
like
white
entice it to like come to
out. Yep.
them. Now, what is going on with this game? I see Lip's mouth moving, but I'm not sure if he's trying to talk.
I was just casting a spell, I'm sorry.
Oh shit! What smell? I'm concerned now. Wild magic.
Kiraga. That's it.
Okay, so no wild magic, we're good. Okay.
Now, what is happening with this game is kind of more complicated to answer. So fundamentally, it's a time-traveling old man that is trying to implant his soul into 13 vessels.
Yes.
Hashtag all old men. Yes, all old
Literally.
Literally all of them. He wants to be everybody in this game.
True.
Now, the main villain of Chain of Memories and 2 and onward is this organization 13. And at first, they kind of are shown to be this oversight.
Yeah, before you go barreling forward, I think it's very important to go super backwards.
Super backwards.
Super backwards.
What? No, you are a punk ass kid living on a desert island. No, you are on actually a pretty tropical island.
No, even further.
Even further.
Even further back, there was a Keyblade War. Wait, hold on. Even further back, there was this OG Grandmaster who just doesn't have a name. He has no explanation of how he knows these things or why he's the OG Grandmaster. Then there's 5 masters that he trained, and 4 of them have faces. The 5th one is dressed in an Organization 13 cloak, which is kind of sketchy.
It's 4 masters and sketchy.
Right. And there's a whole bunch of theories on who this sketchy individual is. I mean, everything, like, it could be the old man Xehanort trying to swiggity-swooty his ass into different people.
Because
it could
time
be
travel.
Yeah.
Right, like, it could be his first apprentice, his master. It could be a whole bunch of different people. I think it might be Master Yen Sid, personally.
One of the coolest theories that I've heard is that it is potentially the combination of Ventus's heart, making it back to the Heartless and the Nobody, creating a new form that Sora gave away. So essentially, it is the main character that is in that we played through in every game. We are that masked figure. Interesting, but in the idea of like time traveling,
so convoluted,
apparently,
but that's so Kingdom
yeah,
Hearts.
yeah,
Right.
that's
So convoluted.
Now, the movie and these 5 masters was basically a big show of politics. It was, you are in charge of making sure that no one betrays your group. And then, of course, now everyone is suspicious that someone is betraying the group. And now they're kind of amassing power, each master with their followers, and that brings you eventually to a great war.
Because reverse psychology gone wrong, basically.
Right.
Yeah, which is crazy because the Grandmaster knew that a betrayal was going to happen. He was given this prophecy, delivered the prophecy to Sketchy, and then told him one of them will be betraying them, and then went to everybody else was like, don't betray each other.
Right.
Like,
don't do
you
what I know
are
is
the
about that.
like the self-prophesized, like you self-fulfilling prophecy. There you go.
Yes, I'm giving you this one thing I know it's going to
wow.
happen to make it happen.
Yep.
And then that brings us to our Keyblade War. After a whole bunch of politics and whatnot, and I don't even really remember what exactly happened, but yeah, fighting.
One of the factions survived by finding all the children of the pure hearts, and they were the ones that were eventually going to heal it.
Which if you played them
after the Keyblade War.
If you were playing the mobile game, you were a part of one of those factions, and you were in battle in this Keyblade War, in which you start to see darkness. I'm going to stop talking now.
And then that brings you to Birth by Sleep. Now, at the end of the movie, with these masters, Sketchy walks off with Grandmaster's chest and his very unique-looking Keyblade. Now, I think Sketchy is Xehanort, and Xehanort trained Ericus, and that's how they met. Yes, the Eye Keyblade, and young Xehanort, which we can go talk about later, has an Eye Keyblade. It's similar, but it's not the same.
No.
But, I mean, it's
connected.
Xehanort.
Yeah,
like,
Xehanort. Just look for
Just
the
know
yellow. Just look for the yellow.
Right.
You're good.
Right. Just so you guys know, we will be going back to Xehanort because he's literally every old man. All old man equals him.
he is the bee's knees of Kingdom Hearts because he holds everything up.
And bees suck. Just
story
saying, FYI, bees suck.
So you have these 2 masters, Xehanort and Ericus. Xehanort is like the master of darkness, and Ericus is the master of light. And you have these 3 trainees, Aqua, Terra, and Ventus. Ventus got his darkness literally just separated from him into a completely second person. And then Aqua and Terra were trying to become Keyblade Masters like Ericus and Xehanort. Daddy Nort over here.
Daddy
Nort.
On par.
And
That's what we're naming this episode.
right.
Daddy Nort.
Unfortunately, only Aqua becomes master. Terra gets upset. He runs away. Ventus is a little bitch. He chases after him. And now Ericus is like, Aqua, you have to go
clean up
fetch
this
them.
mess.
So she leaves. And of course, now in Birth by Sleep was this awesome mechanic of getting to play from each of those characters' stories. Now, sometimes they cross paths. True, but I think it was the first time it was done well.
Yes, I was just going to add words right out of my mouth, Dale, per usual. It was, yes.
And sometimes, like, two of their paths may cross. All three of their paths cross, I think, literally twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 times.
2 or 3 times, tops.
Right. Once is in Radiant Garden, of course.
Yes.
Once is in, I think, Cinderella's castle.
Something.
No, Sleeping Beauty's castle.
Right.
And then at the very
Bastion.
end of the game, they're all in the same spot again, getting bodied. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, the ending is always the same. They always fail.
By who? Daddy Nort.
Right, Daddy Nort and Terra Nort. So after a series of misadventures, you know, the game's story is these 3 people trying to figure out their stuff. Terra is trying to master the darkness within him. Xehanort's whispering in his ear like a creepy old man does, and telling him to use it. He's in there like, do it. Like...
Wow.
I'm excited for this. I'm gonna put this on YouTube. Everything you need to know about Kingdom Hearts.
Right. Aqua is trying to like be, you know, the master and do things like the master way, and it doesn't work. And you get all the way up to this. Ventus is trying to fight his evil counterpart Vanitas, who is his darkness.
I will say it's kind of like, if you guys ever watched Once Upon a Time, I don't know who has. It's basically like when Regina, like the evil queen, her body is basically split into her evil side is just pure evil, and then it's her good side that she had redemption, and they just split in half. And that's basically what happened to Ventus.
Yeah.
Yes. And you face off with him on multiple occasions, and you're not really sure why he keeps running away and then telling you he's gonna kill you.
Because he's also a little bitch.
Right, like, just, you're very confused by what Vanitas is actually supposed to be doing. And then you get all the way to the end of the game, and Terra kills Master Ericus because Ericus is trying to kill Ventus to stop some crazy shit from happening. And you get to the end of the game, and of course craziness happens anyway. Because as soon as you fight Vanitas for the last time, what does bitch-ass Ventus do? Oh, create the very weapon that the story doesn't want to have created.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Terra's fighting Master Xehanort one-on-one because that was smart.
Yep.
And
so smart.
And then I think Aqua fights Xigbar in the Keyblade graveyard. She fights...
The thing is, I know that Aqua and Terra both defeated the people they were fighting because cinematic drama, they all were able to sit there and witness the moment that the life went out of Ventus's like eyes. And they got all the way up to it because they were all fighting him at the end.
Yep.
So whoever they were fighting, they weren't that big of a problem.
No, they all got clobbered.
But somehow the 3 of them ended up fighting...
Because Terra became Xehanort's meat suit, and then Aqua got frozen and thrown off a ledge, and she got stuck in the Keyblade wave that Vanitas used, and then King Mickey of all
shows up out of
nowhere.
We'll get to Mickey's bitch ass later.
Mickey is friends with all these people somehow.
You got friends in high places.
He saves her, Mickey. And then Ventus makes the... Of course, it's called the Keyblade, but it's the Greek letter Chi, C-H-I. Yeah. So that's their like big weapon, the Keyblade.
Yeah.
And that ends, and of course, everything is just in complete disarray. Xehanort just kind of walks off. Then you get to like the post-game boss fights, of course, as Kingdom Hearts is quite famous for. And of course, it requires you to have beaten Ventus's story, beaten Terra's story, finished Aqua's story, I think on the hardest game modes, and then you got to unlock the fight between Aqua and Terranort, which is the Terra Xehanort combination.
Which I've never done, I've just watched.
There was something that you also unlocked by playing specifically the board game too.
Yes.
Again,
and
never
that
played
fight, that fight was hard as shit. I'm not gonna lie, that fight was real difficult because not only is he basically Xehanort, you remember how in like Kingdom Hearts 1 when you fight Ansem, he's got like the darkness?
Yeah.
Well, this is like Xehanort, but with the darkness.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really difficult. But of course, I got Reflecga, I got like triple Blizzaga, Blizzard Dance, all sorts of ice spells.
Oh, yeah.
And the end of that is probably the most significant point to what Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be, because Aqua, before Terra, or as Terra is consumed by the darkness, she jumps into the darkness, she saves him, and she expels her... They have this like protective armor that protects them from the darkness as they travel between worlds, because unlike Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, not all the worlds are connected by this weird doorway yet. So she expels her armor to like take Terra out of the darkness, and she falls into the darkness. Now,
like a good mom.
This is why Diz is the most significant character to the story, because Ansem the Wise, aka Diz, finds this Terra, who introduces himself as Xehanort.
Yeah.
To him, which is a very pivotal moment in this, because he's no longer Terra even in his own mind.
Right.
Yeah.
He's Xehanort.
But he doesn't have Xehanort's memories either, does he?
Right. He doesn't have anyone's...
He's basically Terra and Xehanort with amnesia.
Right. It's like Kingdom Hearts 2.
There's like a family...
Sora when he wakes up.
If you look at it, there's like a family branch off of like how Xehanort divided that group, because he divided Terra into two parts, and then Terra divided into another two parts. And Ansem the Wise is like one of the two parts. And then
Ansem the Wise is the original Ansem.
Yeah, Ansem the Wise is the original
Ansem the Wise is who Terranort meets when he's first thrown out of the thing. That's Ansem the Wise.
So this is where I get confused. There's Terranort.
So Terranort with amnesia meets Ansem the Wise, takes Ansem's name, and then does his shit.
So now is when we start getting into Kingdom Hearts 1.
Right.
Is how these heartless creatures came to be. Is this Ansem had, I think, 5 apprentices, oddly enough. They all betrayed him, sent his ass to the realm of darkness, and then
history repeats itself. Duh.
Right. Then they decided to experiment on people's hearts and the darkness within them, and they found out about Heartless. Now, Terranort accidentally turns himself into a Heartless.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking of. Right.
Yes.
And that's what
that Heartless calls himself Ansem.
Ansem. That's what I was thinking of.
Yes. But that one is Ansem, Seeker of Darkness.
Right.
The original Ansem is Ansem the Wise.
Who has no
that's your main villain
relation
in
to
Kingdom Hearts
Ansem
1.
the Darkness.
Now we find, actually, in Birth by Sleep, before we pass that up, some of the most significant things is your Birth by Sleep characters meet the Kingdom Hearts
trio,
like flagship trio.
Yeah.
Like Terra meets Riku and he passes on the Keyblade to him, which, mind you, no one knew any of that kind of shit when Game 1 came out.
No, we had no
idea. It was
just
Sora,
they just suddenly had a Keyblade for no reason.
Keyblade, right. So now you're explained that
the Keyblades have to be passed on through like a rite.
It has to be passed down.
Yeah. So Terra gave his passage on down to Riku. Aqua saved Kairi and passed it down to Kairi because Kairi's fucking badass, so it was Aqua. And then it was the same thing.
Aqua accidentally did it, and Aqua felt bad about it.
Oh my, yes, that's
right. Because Kairi went to touch her hand, and she touched the Keyblade, and that accidentally did the whole like ritual thing.
Yep. Because
the master is giving the Keyblade to the new person.
Yeah.
So that's why Kairi magically has a Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 2. And
In the first one, she was originally believed to be one of the princesses that were
the princesses of Heart. Yes,
yep.
we'll get to that at the end of the first game. Sora gets his Keyblade by accident. No one ever gave him that power for two reasons. His is kind of by accident. One, when Ventus got fucked up in Birth by Sleep, his heart sought out a heart to kind of reside in and heal with, and that was Sora. So because he had that kind of Ventus's touch there, he could use a Keyblade, but in all reality, he was like the second pick.
Yeah.
Because, so now you're on an island. You're level 1 again. You were just Aqua beating down Terranort and the Darkness creature. And now you're a punk-ass kid hitting a coconut tree with a wooden sword and racing your best friend Riku down.
Stealing money from him,
Kyrie. Like...
Kyrie's like... Kyrie and the parallels between Kyrie and Aqua, I love it. She's just like, God damn these boys. Cleaning up your mess, god damn it.
Right. But she's not as helpful as Aqua.
Because they don't allow her to be. God damn it, Nomura. Fuck. Give a girl a chance. The girl's got it.
Well, that's what we're gonna see in 3.
We better.
I'm gonna be excited about. But yes, continuing with
racing down the beach.
Yeah, there's so many pieces.
You're doing all these little mini games and crap just to pass the time. To, it was a 2002 PlayStation 2 game. Like, your prologue tutorial was just goofing off on an island, right?
Yeah.
And then you build a raft, of all things, and then there's a thunderstorm, and you're like, oh shit, my raft. So you run
Let's go out and get the raft.
And there's these little shadowy creatures fucking people up. But there's no one that, like, lives there. Like, you live on the mainland. And your raft was on the island, and in the middle of the thunderstorm, you went to the island.
Yeah.
To save your raft. And found these shadow monsters, and then you're, like, looking around, and you have nothing but your wooden sword. And you're hitting them and realizing you're not killing them.
Was Waka and that group just living on the island?
Waka was one of the mini games on the island.
Yeah. Were they just, like, chilling out on the island?
Ball at you, yeah.
Were they there when a storm happened?
Tiberius, Waka, and
somebody.
Some other girl with a jump rope.
Right. Did they get... Are we assuming that they just died in the storm?
Because they ended up in Traverse Town. Because Traverse Town, and we'll get to there in a moment, is the city for wayward people that don't have
they get lost, right?
Worlds. So you are going to go check on your raft, and you notice, like, Riku is up on, like, the little island that's adjacent to the little island, and you, like, run up there like, my man, what's going on? As he's just eaten by darkness, and of course it's like no, my buddy Riku, and then he's like, oh no, my finger is an inch away from touching yours. No.
As they do in every anime sequence ever.
Like, okay, obviously he wasn't going to save him, and then you just get this Keyblade, and it pops up, you are the one who will open the door, don't be afraid, and you're like, excuse me? Like, I just got this, and you're like, you will open doors, don't be scared of them. Like, what? So then you...
It's like, so I have a key to open doors.
This is the opposite of Critical Role, you will open the door.
Right. So you just duff your way past, and you find this door, and this weird person just standing in front of it, and they give you some, like, monologue, disappear, and then you draw on the cave wall, and then you, like, come out, and shit has really hit the fan. Like, you farm Heartless to get to, like, level 5, so you have, like, dodge roll and stuff, and you fight your first boss. You beat it, but of course it's Kingdom Hearts, so you don't really win. You get taken out, you end up in Traverse Town, and who's there to greet you as you wake up from unconscious stupor? Pluto the dog.
No.
Yeah.
And then you spend some time in Traverse Town, which, as we said, was the place for wayward people.
Just to
and you're
explain
fighting
as well.
some Heartless, you go into a shop, you buy a couple potions, you save... You'll walk out, and Squall Lionheart fucks you up immediately as you exit. He just rounds the corner with his gunblade, and he's just like, I'm not happy with you, and you're just like, what? Slap Faraga in the neck, like he just fucks you up, dude. Like,
it's like, what was that? What was that even for?
Like, who are you?
Let me just say, Mickey has a dog, right? And Mickey
Widow.
is the owner of said dog, and Mickey has yet to take care of this dog.
It's just a portal hopping, like no big deal.
Nobody
Pluto
talks about
like
Pluto in
runs
this story.
like dark portals and in and out of the dark realm.
No
Like,
fear,
who is
just
Pluto?
straight
Right.
into every portal.
Mickey's just kind of chilling there, being like, yeah, you know, whatever.
You really gotta train him, really.
Whatever. He's just
Tell him
fucking
to stay.
So then you go through your various adventures. Now in this game, your goal is to find your friends Riku and Kairi because, well, your world just blew up,
Yeah,
and where are they? And you spend some time chasing around Riku, and he's all goofy from the darkness, and you don't really see much of Kairi. I actually don't really remember what the hell Kairi was doing during all of this.
She was
In Kingdom Hearts
stuck
1.
by
She
herself.
She somehow made it back to the island.
Yeah,
I know
she was-
that.
she was by herself
Oh, right, yeah, she was like living at home or something. Like, what? Like,
until she was kidnapped.
right, and then she got kidnapped by Axel.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Kingdom
there was that
Hearts 2.
scene. Did we
Oh
explain?
no, she got
Kingdom
kidnapped
Hearts
by
1,
by
she was-
Ansem. Yeah.
Yeah, she was kidnapped in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Mm.
Because that's part of the reason why Roxas happened.
Yes. So you're going through and you're finding them, and then you hit Peter Pan's world, and this is one of my favorite moments in this game
because you learned
because you see the dark Riku for the first time. Like, you've seen like Riku when you're like fucking around with Pinocchio and you're like, yeah, let's save Pinocchio together, but like you see dark Riku in its full glory here. Like, it is the fresh young dark Riku ready to just kill everybody. Like, he is so angry
bad.
and he
badass.
he's so good. Like, fighting him is so hard. And of course, you know, you win and he leaves because you never actually, because you're like, I'm going to save you instead of beat you down. Like,
Naruto versus Sasuke.
yeah, exactly. And except it didn't drag on forever.
Yeah.
Only for
Riku's
half of
100%
forever.
better of a person than Sasuke. Sasuke can get
Right.
the fuck out and die. I'm not bitter.
And then you beat Captain Hook, and you leave, and you go about your adventure again, and
With flights, can we talk about that's the best thing that happened in
true,
one?
you got flying in that Peter Pan world, and that was baller. That the final fight in that world, in fact, you were flying.
Yeah.
Yep, I
Or
would like to
you-
let
you
everybody
could
know
fly.
I spent an entire year of my life just flying on that level. Didn't do anything else.
Can we
Just
talk about like the Tarzan jungle, just sliding through like the trees to like get to the next place, climbing and swinging on vines? Like, it was so good.
Man, I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 1 in fucking forever.
Right? If
Okay.
if 3 didn't come out in like 5 days.
Yeah, I'd be playing 1 right now for sure.
So I have this sucks because there's so much more to talk about. I need to hit 3 main points of each of the games from here until 3.
All right, very good.
I can talk about 3 major things I want to talk about.
Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, is your main villain in Kingdom Hearts 1. He takes over Riku's body, and you expel him, you fight him
We-
like 7 times.
We
in
also have to discuss that in Kingdom Hearts 1, when Kairi was saved by Sora, but Sora got turned into a Heartless.
Yes, you got turned because that's a very important moment.
Because
too.
that's a very pivotal moment, because that's how
He
Roxas was
sacrificed.
born.
Yeah, so you run into the final world. I believe it's actually Hollow Bastion that you are in,
Yeah.
or Radiant Garden that you're in.
Remember,
because-
Hollow Bastion
She
turns into Radiant.
Radiant Garden. So
Right,
it's Hollow
okay,
Bastion at
so-
the time.
So yes, that's Hollow Bastion, which is where Beast lives.
hmm
And he's sitting in a broken world, a literal broken world. And you're there to fight Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. Like, you
Mhm.
tracked him down, and I forget, you beat him to save Kairi,
hmm
because he's trying to use these Princesses of Hearts, which is the Disney princesses plus Kairi.
Minus Ariel.
Minus Ariel, yeah, because all she does is sing. in Kingdom Hearts 2.
And you can't do shit until
waste
you
of
get
game.
a certain like spell. Was it Magneta or something
Right.
stupid?
And then in doing that, you get killed
Well, he
and
stabs
turned
himself.
into a heart. Oh, right, because you have
part of
Kyrie's
Kyrie's heart.
inside of your
So he had
heart.
to unlock it.
Yeah.
So to do that, right, he had to unlock it, which turned him into a Heartless, and then the power of love and the hug of a 14-year-old girl turns you back into a person.
Because Kyrie is that OP, okay?
Thanks, folks. Thanks for coming to the show today.
That's the summary of Kingdom Hearts 2. You get hugged by a girl, and everything's good again.
Then that will take you into... Then you beat him and save Kingdom Hearts for the first time. And then you go into Chain of Memories.
But when you save Kingdom Hearts for the first time, doesn't Riku get stuck?
I was gonna save that until the 2.8 because there's
okay.
more that happens
you're right.
in 2.8.
You're right.
Okay.
I will puzzle that. Like I said, this story's very convoluted and long, and this is over how many fucking games, over how many fucking years. So.
I don't think they thought it was gonna go past Kingdom Hearts 2.
They really didn't.
And they had to kind of put a long-standing story together. Then you get into Chain of Memories, and the most important things of that is Riku literally laying siege to Organization 13's Castle Oblivion. Sora, of course, gets duped there because he's an idiot in every game. Yeah. It's like, hey, come here, little boy, we have lost memories and secrets. And they were like, okay. You know, you take your best of friends, Donald and Goofy. Goofy never dies, Donald never does anything.
Ever.
Goofy
like, Donald, heal me. And he's like,
you tell him to
Goofy.
only heal, and he still fucking doesn't. It's
I know, he's like, Thundaga. I'm out of MP. Like,
you asshole, stop.
Like, fucking dickhead.
Fucking Donald. We all hate Donald here.
Basically, what Chain of Memories is, to summarize it, is just Organization 13 is trying to steal the memories of Sora and put them somewhere else, and that takes you into 358/2, and now this is where some of the storylines begin to overlap. Yeah. Chain of Memories and 358/2 and Kingdom Hearts 2 all kind of have this weird
like a linear like this parallel line of it happening all at once, basically.
And what they're trying to do is they're trying to gain control of the Keyblade, and I'm going to save Roxas for Kingdom Hearts 2 as well, because that's where nobodies are introduced.
Yep. Off on Roxas.
So Organization 13 basically cloned Sora, made this like mannequin version of Sora, and then they were taking all of the memories from real Sora and putting them into the fake one. And now, because it is still technically Sora, it can use a Keyblade, and that's what their ultimate goal is. But it's like a female gender-bended version of Sora with black hair.
Who also kind of looks like
Xion.
Yeah.
Right, and there's actually
Kyrie was part of his heart, so that's the memory of Kyrie being in his heart in the reflection of Xion.
The strongest memory or something like that, I think is how they put it, right?
Yeah. It's... Sorry.
And Xion, there's actually a couple interesting theories about where her name comes from. Ion is whatever an ion is, and I'm too tired to remember this kind of shit.
They put X in literally everything.
Right.
It's just because of the Keyblade. That's
right. There's a whole bunch of parallels to that.
Yep.
And then Xion becomes self-aware of what Xion really is. And she's not particularly happy about it.
It's basically Alana figuring out that she's a clone.
Right.
So when she figures out she's a clone and who she really is and what her memories really are, she kind of self-destructs.
And then...
As you would.
The person that is taking the memories is named Naminé. And Kingdom Hearts 2 introduced a new kind of enemy called Nobodies. And whenever a Heartless is made, the empty husk that is left behind is turned into a nobody. So when Kyrie's heart was stuck inside of Sora's, there was no Heartless made, but there was a nobody made. And that nobody was named Naminé. And Naminé is who takes these memories out of Sora and puts them into fake. And also who repairs those memories because of Diz and Riku. Literally like grabbing her by the throat and telling her to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she willingly does it, but
she was pretty much
really
held
didn't give her-
hostage. It was like a Stockholm syndrome thing.
Right. And then, so Sora becomes a Heartless in order to save Kyrie, and thus a nobody is made. And that's what his name is, Roxas.
Which, if you know, is Sora with an X in the middle.
Yes.
Yes, his name is rearranged into Roxas with an X. And also, the reason why Roxas looks so much like Ventus is because Ventus's heart is still within Sora's, repairing itself. So that reflection of what's in his heart and Ventus is now the nobody that is Roxas. So though he looks like looks like Ventus and acts like Sora, he's neither.
That's just so sad to think of that.
And you actually
I
start
know,
out
it's really
playing
fucked up.
as Roxas
Yeah.
Really
in Kingdom Hearts 2, which is a
Kingdom Hearts
notable
2.
thing for anyone that might be trying to play 2.
Yeah, you start as Roxas, which was very
and-
confusing to me when I first
Yes.
played 2, because I had never played any of the other games aside from 1, and yeah, I had no idea what was going on.
And the intro for Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, is entirely too long. It's like 7 game days worth of dicking around on summer break with your friends.
It is a bit long, but at the same, like the first run through, I thought it was so long. I'm like, where's Sora? Where's Sora? Because I didn't know. But second playthrough and playing all the other games, I appreciate my time with Roxas so much more. And when you lose Roxas, I actually cried the second run through instead of the first time because I didn't understand the weight of what was happening. The second time through, though, and Roxas giving himself up, I'm just like, oh no, I didn't realize the first time.
Yeah.
Something to note is that Roxas, Xion, and Axel were all very, very close in 358/2.
Yep.
That
And
trio.
that's one of those things where, like, it all overlaps, so it's
parallels
hard
of
to
Two Boys,
explain
One
it in a
Girl
straight
trio.
line.
And that's where these things come in.
Yes, the Wayfinders. Each and every trio has them. Now, on the topic of nobodies, Axel is a nobody, which means that before Axel was a nobody, he had a heart and was a person.
Yeah.
And that person's name is Lee.
Lee.
So Lee is Axel, but as a person.
I have to say this, but speculatory Kingdom Hearts 3 preview, Kyrie still calls him Axel! Ah, my heart.
What?
Well,
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
Did you watch the final battle trailer? Because she calls him Lee.
Well, then why did the first one say she said
because
Axel?
remember, there's a whole intro of him reintroducing himself as Lee. That's also in 2.8 as well. They actually had the discussion in 2.8. So
It happens in Dream Drop as well, I think, too.
Just so everybody knows,
is
2.8 is basically Dream Drop 2 because they have that weird trio of games, and Dream Drop is one of them. That's the only way I was able to play Dream Drop because there was no way I was going to buy that system to play that
Just
one
Yeah,
game.
Dream Drop, right? So then 2, you are going around, and these nobodies are a problem. The Heartless are a problem. The Heartless Queen basically is Maleficent. And Kingdom Hearts 2 addresses a whole bunch of things, and it would be impossible. You could spend literally multiple
episodes of this.
episodes of just Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is so full of lore and
Everything.
just everything.
Right.
Because, like you said, they were anticipating 2 to be the bear-all end-all, but there was just so much that people
left.
wanted to know more of.
Yep,
Right. That they sculpted a universe around the story.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Because
basically
Kingdom Hearts 2 was
it's
the best. Just saying.
so when Terranort turned himself into a Heartless, as the common theme is, there was also a nobody created.
Yeah.
And that nobody's name is Xemnas. So
Yeah.
Xehanort turned into Terranort, who turned into Xemnas and Xehanort,
And Ansem the Darkness.
and Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, and
So
just
many
all
Xehanorts.
so many
All the
people.
Xehanorts.
Xehanort
All the
is like the Genghis Khan of Kingdom Hearts. Okay, like he's in everybody's DNA
Let's
right
be
now.
honest.
Like
Xehanort is the herpes of Kingdom Hearts.
Everyone catches him. He's so contagious. Everyone gets him.
no one can avoid it for long.
We need a vaccine ASAP, guys. God damn it.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And what Xemnas is trying to do is, I think we were talking about this earlier, to lure Kingdom Hearts by giving it people's hearts, and in doing so, getting hearts back for the organization members. Now, the organization members aren't aware that they're puppets of a master plan.
Yeah.
They think they're the one. They think they're the puppeteers.
Oh, can I just give this one away?
Sure.
Just a huge one. The idea ends up being that the 13 were going to all be little carbon copies of Xehanorts.
Yep.
That he was going to then keep splitting himself into. A notable thing that we see throughout most of the story is that the number 13, the number 7, and the number 5, I believe, are 3 pinnacle numbers that are used throughout. 13 usually involves an evil component of the story.
Yep.
7 is
the
good. And then 5 is
the
change.
Yep, 5 is the change. 7's the good. 13's the bad.
Right. So in this, he believes that if he can create 13 versions of himself, he can outpower the good. But what they don't realize is that the shift of the 5, which we're seeing, which we'll see in 3, and the shift of the 7 that we thought we saw before, which was like Princess at first, but then it was 7 Keyblades, and then there's 7 something else. They believe that the 7 is what's going to overpower the 13 of him, because right now he doesn't have all 13.
Not yet, anyway.
Which is important in 2 because a number of the 13 were killed off. That brought it down.
Also, there was like a civil war going on between 13 members. Like the 13 members, they kind of split into 2.
Right, and it shifted this new war that we're seeing coming up in 3 that gave the good a little bit more leeway to win, but at the same time, Dream Drop Distance showed that his ability to split himself was successful, and that he had every intention of doing it 10 times faster, like wickedly fast. He is now herpes on steroids.
Xehanort is Talia, for any of my players listening to this right now.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Also in Kingdom Hearts 2, you see Riku again, and Kairi. Kairi gets kidnapped by Axel Lee. Axel is upset and cranky because in order for Sora to wake up in Kingdom Hearts 2, Roxas had to sacrifice himself, and Roxas was Axel's best friend. So he keeps, if I beat you enough, you'll remember who I am, in an effort.
That was sad.
Yeah, Axel breaks my heart every time.
He does. And then you think he dies, but he doesn't.
He doesn't, thank God, because that made me cry too. Second run.
I know. I was so upset when he died. I'm like, take Donald instead.
Oh no, then you get hardcore Mickey when he thought Goofy died.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But Riku is now, he looks like Ansem Seeker of Darkness when you actually see his face. You see him a few times, and your first playthrough you're not really sure it's him. Until the character starts thinking it's him, and then you're like, okay, yeah, obviously now that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn that Riku looks that way because in order to save Sora and convince Roxas to do what he did, he literally took that Ansem darkness, beat Roxas down with it, and then kidnapped him. So he sacrificed himself for that, and then I forget what happens exactly. Oh, Diz, my man Diz, always showing up. He actually helps Riku get out of that weird darkness state. Something happens. I don't exactly remember what triggers it, but when you're in the final place, you see Riku for his actual face, and then he transforms back once you beat a certain number, the last 4 remaining members before Xemnas.
Mm-hmm.
Then you fight Xemnas 7 times in a row.
Yes.
Although the final Xemnas fight, I think, was one of my favorites, where the 1,000 lasers and it's you and Riku back to back, reflecting lasers.
I died so many times because I didn't understand what was happening, and I was like, "What am I doing?"
Felt so powerful, and then that moment,
when you get it, it's so good. It's so good.
And then, of course, the ending of being let back into the island.
Oh,
yes.
Tiny Tadaima!
That's what we'll say about the Kingdom Hearts series, is that those moments, even with Chain of Memories, I know how we all feel about that, but like that, they make that last fight so ridiculously difficult that once you get that cutscene at the end, you know you've absolutely earned it because you've been sitting there for hours trying to fight for this freaking. And just for anybody who is not aware, if you're not old enough, these were at times where YouTube was not a thing, where you can just be like, this is too hard. Let me just go
It's only
look
been
up
very
the
recently that I've been able to watch all the cutscenes in full and understand the full story, because there were so many games that I didn't play until the combos came out on PS4. Like,
if you wanted
back
to
then,
get this
you had to like torrent those cutscenes if you wanted to watch like anything decent quality.
Oh yeah, it was rough, but once you got it, and then that I know specifically when I beat Chain of Memories and I got that ending, super emotional. When I finally beat 2, because the thing is 2 was so much fun, but I was way too cocky in the sense that I thought I could do that on hard mode, and I was not prepared. I was not prepared for that fight on hard mode, and it's just like there's no way to do this. But once you actually finally succeed and you get that moment of being in the land of darkness and seeing the door open, and you're actually dropping and swimming, and everybody's like rushing, swimming in slow motion. You're like climbing out of bed, being like, "I want to hug her too. Like I want to be hugged by a 14-year-old girl."
I knew we'd meet again. Ow! My heart.
That was definitely that's one of the things that always happens.
Kingdom Hearts has a way of like pulling at your heart strings.
What's important to note is that the realm of darkness does not allow a heart of light to pass through it. So the only reason they were able to get out is because the light literally opened a door for them, or because Riku did it involuntarily.
Yeah.
Because Riku is all about the darkness, you know what I'm saying? So
I like to believe that Kairi was just that loving.
No, Kairi's just useless on
fuck you, Dale.
Like then that brings you to which game now? Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah.
Dream Drop Distance is...
You guys do that because I never beat that game.
It's an interesting one. You consistently switch between Sora and Riku.
They're both, just so you know too, they both have returned back to Disney and Diz, and they are now in talks of saying who will be the next.
No, they're with Yen Sid. Diz is dead. Diz dies at the end of 2.
Spoiler.
Yen Sid is looking for the next Keyblade Master, and they don't know whether it's going to be Riku or Sora. So they both set out to go through and figure out who will be the next master. And when you find this out, you realize that things that you did in 2 were not done yet. There's still a lot of stuff that needs to happen. Case in point, where we start talking about the reveal that Organization 13 had plans to just keep duplicating Xehanort. And this whole time that you're playing around with your cute little rainbow animals, the world's slowly ending.
Yes.
Yep.
God.
Yep.
And that's what Pokemon.
They're just like, they're just dreams, or like they never explained those very well.
Dreams
they're like
versus nightmares.
So Dream Drop Distance is basically Inception. What they were doing is there's this idea that the dream world exists kind of in parallel to the real world, and each world has its own dream, or every sleeping world has a dream world. It's like Traverse Town, because there's not any currently wrecked by darkness worlds, is a sleeping world, so they want to visit those sleeping worlds so the Xehanort clones stop fucking around with them. Yeah. Now, you go through all of it, and of course, Sora's the idiot getting played the whole time, and you end up at the end of this game of just in a chair, body.
Before you go into talking about Dream Drop Distance, because in order for Dream Drop Distance to have happened, you need to go back to recode it. Talking about memories and dreams, there was the machine that could go into your dreams and change details of what happened.
Inception.
Yeah, that's what the idea of Inception came from, this machine that Organization 13 kind of created, and you go back and recode it, which is like Chain of Memories Part 2, but like without the cards.
Because of what Diz happened to do, he implanted a bunch of data from Kingdom Hearts into Sora right before he died.
Yeah.
And what Recoded is trying to do is trying to get that information so they can start analyzing it, which they do by sending Sora through a series of data worlds.
Yeah.
And go, which, like, what a dick move it is. Like, what, you just had to have one last laugh?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, just give them the information, like, haha, you have to go through a whole bunch of worlds first, asshole. Like,
yeah. Oh
come
my
on,
gosh.
dude.
Oh my gosh. That whole drama led to them, because I think that's how Sid and Mickey knew how to get them through things. Because remember, he fell asleep at Merlin's lair or whatever, and that's when they dropped into Traverse City, and they already had the information at that time. So chronologically, I'm thinking Recoded happened just before Dream Drop Distance, and then they were going through the memories, and that's when they start discovering the dreams versus the nightmares that come with, like, the programming of what you remember. Because memories, dreams, and nightmares are now the three new things besides darkness, nobodies, and hearts. Because you don't see any heartless and Dream Drop Distance anymore. They're just
You
not
see
there.
nothing but these weird nightmare creatures.
Yeah.
And you're hopping in and out of these dreams and in and out of these worlds, and you're saving them from these nightmares, and Xehanort's wiggly little finger in everything. And then at the end of it all, what you realize actually happened was Sora got, like, intercepted during this, and, like, his dreams were what Xehanort wanted him to see, or some craziness like that. And then what Riku has to do is dream drop into Sora, and then Inception fight his way through a whole bunch of stuff to save Sora, and then he gets out of Sora inside of the Castle Oblivion circle with all the 13 tall chairs, and there's young Xehanort there.
Yeah.
And now Mickey shows up because, like, everyone realizes we're outmatched. There's 12 Xehanorts and the 13th is currently forming in. Riku's not no chance against this. Mickey shows up, they have a dialogue, and as all story writing does, the dialogue is what allows the villain to show up. And young Xehanort shows up, Mickey stops time. Young Xehanort says, I don't give a shit about your time, breaks it, and then they're having a crazy fight in some, like, broken time realm.
Yeah.
And that fight is probably the hardest I've ever done, the second hardest I've ever had in this series, besides the Terra Armor fight in Kingdom Hearts 2. That is just impossible. I still haven't beaten that.
The most ridiculous thing about that fight is that everything is super intense and serious, and, like, the stakes are so high, and you see these freaking rainbow Pokemon in the middle of the fight. You can't take any of this serious because you're just like, this is the most pinnacle moment of the story, and here comes a rainbow giraffe to come and save you.
Yes.
A pink bat is coming to save my life.
Now, that brings us to point 8, which technically happens at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. So you're closing the door to Kingdom Hearts, and what that requires is someone needs to be on both sides. On the side of the light and on the side of the darkness, they have to close the door at the same time. Now, Riku, who has spent all of Kingdom Hearts 1 in the darkness, is in the darkness, and Mickey is in there helping him, and Sora, has the whole army of people behind him helping. And they close the door, but as Riku's running to close the door, there's a swarm of Heartless running up. And who saves him? Aqua saves him. Yeah. With the most badass shit I've ever seen in Kingdom Hearts, the golden light chains. It's so good. And, I mean, Mickey did her dirty in that. I could rant about that for, multiple episodes.
So much of what was going on.
Because she got sideswiped and taken by that, and he was like, Aqua!
Oh, well.
Alright, you asshole.
Who wants cookies?
And we wonder why Aqua's mad in the Kingdom Hearts 3 previews. That's why.
Yes,
That's
right?
why.
Mickey's bitch ass just left her there over
too
some
late.
kid.
Yeah. So, if most of you all have gotten most of that, that is what a Kingdom Heart is. That is what the story is ultimately about. Who knows how 3 is going to affect anything that we just told you. 9 times out of 10, by the time we finish 3, we're going to go back to the beginning and tell you how all this stuff is the exact opposite of what we just
Yeah. Trust me,
Really?
we are having a follow-up episode of Kingdom Hearts on Mystic Hour.
yeah.
It's happening because there, like I said, like we're just scratching the surface, and I'm sure we're forgetting so many like pinnacle points of context. But
There's so much going on.
So
It's all just so you guys all know. Sephiroth is the real major villain of the entire series.
Yeah, Sephiroth. That fight was so hard, man.
And so random.
Reflecta is the only way I got through that. Reflecta and Limit Form in Kingdom Hearts 2.5. I don't know how I beat him in the original one. It was impossibly hard.
Yeah.
Like,
that is like a 10-year culture that was explained very, very roughly in the course of like,
hey, Final Fantasy 7 is sort of here.
Yeah.
Some things I wanted to talk about before we get into final stuff. I want to know what you all are most looking forward to in 3.
I want Kairi and to see her fucking Keyblade. That's all I'm waiting for. That's all. I want to see some badass Kairi. I don't want her to be the weak little girl that's always off to the sidelines while Sora and Riku are off fucking off and leaving her alone. I want her to come into her own, use her Keyblade, and fuck shit up with Axel. That's all I want.
So Kristy wants to see the 14-year-old girl's Keyblade.
Yes, with Axel's Keyblade. I want the two. I need Axel Kairi moments. That's all I want.
Never cross blades, Kristy. Come on now.
Just a tip. It's fine.
I want to see all the really cool mechanics that came with Aqua in 2.8. I love how the gameplay felt seamless, and from the cutscenes to what you're playing, you almost couldn't tell what the difference was. Like, you don't know if what I'm doing is affecting the story, or if this is like the story kind of making me feel like I'm a part of it more. The things that I liked about 2 that they got more interesting in, and I saw in the previews as well, is like how you can use the environment as a part of your attacks. So like the spin hits, the grinding on things to kind of like attack
that
people.
Came from Dream Drop.
Right, having all of those features kind of come in, I like how they're developing more into that. But then also, how far can you go with it? I know in the previews there was like you're running up entire Titans and using the Titans as weapons, which I'm like, that's pretty awesome. So I'm curious to see how. And the
Toy Story, when you're actually getting into like the shooter, like you're in the robot, that's so fun. It's so cool. Yeah,
that's one of the things.
Toy Story, I'm super looking forward to, with the amount like I've got to play 15 minutes tops of each world that they had available, and Toy Story was definitely up there for me, for sure.
For me, there's kind of 2 things, and they're kind of the same, but it's like the same thing twice. Because like in every Kingdom Hearts game, I'm always looking forward to that last boss fight on critical mode.
Yes,
I'm always looking forward to that.
That's
but I'm
what you're
also
going to spend most of your years on, just fighting that.
Right. But I'm also equally looking forward to fighting Aqua as Sora in the Realm of Darkness on the beach. On the water, though?
I need the Aqua scenes.
Oh, did you ever realize that the song, Simple and Clean, she mentions walking on water, and what are you doing? You're fighting Aqua while walking on water.
Yeah. I also, as far as worlds, I can't be more excited for San Tokyo. I think,
yes.
I do want to see some form, and I don't know if they're going to wait. It's weird that they would wait this long. I really wanted to see Princess and the Frog as a world, just like the lore of what New Orleans can look like as a story. Same thing with Moana. I think there's so many cool things you could do with these, but I think that the way that they planned this out, either these are 2 worlds we're just not going to see, or they're probably just kind of sliding in really quickly.
They might be doing like like the attractions and stuff, like like the summons, like that I could possibly see happening.
I'm very interested in what Princess and the Frog summon would be. It sounds like that would be just like a huge party, just like a bunch of instruments playing,
something,
which would be huge. Same thing with Moana. If they do make that a summon, that would be a pretty intense looking summon.
There was a ship summon.
Yeah. So it's possible. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with some of the newer worlds. Obviously, they made sure that that Tangled and Frozen are going to be in the story.
I'm so hyped for Frozen.
It's going to be interesting. There's going to be so much Fire-Agas happening in that world. I just know it.
I can't wait for Olaf to be more useful than Donald.
Me too. Yeah. He will be.
Yes.
He's adorable as fuck.
Also, I'm very excited for this like 4 party member combo that they're doing, where it's no longer you have to pick between Donald, Goofy, and Tarzan, Hercules, or whoever.
Right.
It's Donald, Goofy, and that person.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's really nice because before, like, why would you ever not level Donald and Goofy? And in Kingdom Hearts 2, it was like they just leveled up with you anyway at their own rates. And it was like, well, you may as well have them then. Like, what?
And like for the Toy Story one, like they have like Woody and all the other toys helping you without them being in your party.
Oh. So it's not even just 4. It's just like actual, because the Toy Story.
I'm sure there is a 4 mechanic, but like at least with the Toy Story, the intro that I got into, you were helping all of the toys, and the toys follow you and they help fight things.
It was a little bit it was a very quick section of a game, but I would have also, I don't know if they're definitely going to do it in 3 or not, but in 2.8 you can also customize Aqua as much as you want.
Yes.
And I thought that was pretty cool, where you can give her like wings, you can give her like all different types of costume pieces based off of what you unlock and what you find.
Right.
I know that with Sora, a lot of people really are excited with how he looks in each world, but I think there's really cool features that can happen with how you can customize that. We've been seeing it with the Keyblade so much. No matter which world you go to, you can customize your Keyblade. But what that would look like on him and like how that can fit in, you start getting maybe some cool ideas of like how you can mix and match. So maybe if we're talking about like Moana or like Princess and the Frog or Frozen, you can actually have some costume pieces or some features or maybe some armor. I could
definitely see them having like unlocks from previous games as well.
Yeah, so that would be pretty cool, especially seeing how this is our bear all end all. It would be cool to have as much memorabilia as possible. So things that you can actually carry with you besides just the Keyblade would actually be pretty cool to kind of see. I already know that stuff like summons have become much more engaging and kind of like tear-jerking in a way. How everybody's been reacting to Wreck-It Ralph as a summon, it is emotional. It's just pure emotional, because not only are we appealing to the nostalgia of that movie that it meant to a lot of people, but we're also appealing to nostalgia for all of us who've been playing video games since that era. So you're watching that and you're just like, man, it gives me all the feels.
Meta.
So that one's pretty cool. So I'm excited for a lot.
Does that mean Kingdom Hearts 3? Kingdom Hearts is a world in Wreck-It Ralph? Like,
well, that's what's interesting, because when they show like a small clip, I don't know if this is like a meme that somebody put, but when Ralph first meets Sora, he's like, "Oh, you must be the new game," and Sora's like, "What's a game?"
It's so meta. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's so meta. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, I actually have to wrap up.
Yeah, we have to wrap up
soon. But one more question. I really wanted to talk about the chess game scene.
What chess game scene?
So if you got the first initial announcement trailer of Kingdom Hearts, there's 2 very interesting characters that are playing chess with each other.
Okay, yep.
That's a whole nother. That's literally a whole nother. We'll do that at the revisit. But huge lesson.
I got something for you.
Yeah.
Don't Think Twice is a love song.
Yes.
Between Sora and Kairi. 100%.
I completely disagree. I think it's a love story between Riku and Sora.
Stop!
Like,
Could could be
just-
Riku and Kairi too, okay? How about it's a three-way? Jesus.
No, we don't do that here. They are trios, and there's always one left out. Okay.
Oh.
I mean, Sora would be the one left.
Wow.
But you know what? He would be fine because he's got his boys Donald and Goofy.
Yeah,
in
there's the
back.
other trio. Uh-oh. And he's still left out.
And he's still left. Because at the end of the day, who goes home together? Donald and Goofy.
Poor Sora. Oh my god.
It's funny because my last question for you all would be like, what are good lessons to take away from the Kingdom Hearts series?
Sora's just a piece of shit. I mean, honestly, like everyone leaves him. There's got to be a reason.
Oh, it's so sad.
Okay.
Ow.
The sappier answer I would give for that is that, like, obviously we talked about a lot. It's definitely talking about a lot of friendships. What does it mean to succumb to your own personal darkness versus like fighting it? And having people there around you to help you. A lot of moments that you've seen, a lot of the cutscenes that are really important is like, I can fight this on my own versus I need help to do it. I think to me, just like, especially growing up with this series, it does some really cool things to talk about what like maybe personal depression versus like shared depression could be. As we see in Riku so much, he has this very gun-ho-ness to fight his own darkness, but it takes him the whole series to realize I cannot do it without my friends, and I cannot be there without my friends. So to me, that was the major lesson that I took from the series.
He had the most personal growth in terms of that, for sure.
Yeah. In which case, I definitely agree
it was
with
like he's the better version of Terra. Like he's what Terra should have done, but Terra didn't.
Exactly.
It's like each of the trio is a reflection of the other.
Yeah.
And it's like they're the best versions of what happened with Birth by Sleep trio.
Yeah.
No, Aqua's still the best version.
Well, okay, you know what?
And also Sora Ventus, like, did anything?
I'm saying like their choices,
right?
Like the parallel choices and the choices that like Riku made in the end versus what Terra made in the end, like
right.
And it's the same thing with Sora. Like he persevered while Ventus was a little bitch. So
yeah,
right,
yeah. And I think that's what's so interesting about us watching the journey that's going to happen with Kairi and Aqua is that I think that there's a lot of interesting choices that Aqua hasn't ridden herself out of the tail yet. And so to have Kairi actually have any sort of transformation, it's interesting to see what that dynamic would be between the two of them, because they may be fighting alongside each other. So
or fighting each other.
We don't know. We don't know what the case might be. So, how about you, Dale? Your lessons taken away from the Kingdom Hearts series?
It's honestly it kind of makes you think like how far would you go for your friends, and not just like the people that you acquaint yourself with. I mean, like these three kids literally went on a random tropical island together from day to day to hang out, and their world was destroyed together, and they helped each other battle personal darkness and literally go from a monster back into a person and saving them from being sacrificed for evil intent and
sacrificing themselves for each other.
Right. And they literally go to other worlds to help each other, and they enlist the help of outlandish people to help their friends. And like, how are you willing to go that far? Like, are you willing to go to like what would in the real world case be the extra mile for your like truest friends? You know, you're gonna go out of your way to help them, or are you gonna be like Donald and you're never gonna cast Kiraga?
I'm having a Vanessa Carlton moment where I was like, I would walk 1,000 miles just to see you, and I'm just like, my heart. If I could fall into the sky. Oh shit, it's Kingdom Hearts!
Oh my goodness. Literally, because they fall out of the sky.
Yeah,
exactly. In Kingdom Hearts 2, that's how him and Riku get home. They just fall out of the sky.
Could pass me by. Okay, I'll stop, because there's too many parallels with this song in Kingdom Hearts. I need to make an anime music video, and it's going to be amazing.
Wow.
Oh, jeez. That's my lesson learned.
that Vanessa Carlton created the song, the true song.
The true soundtrack to Kingdom Hearts. No, I do agree with you in terms of like the personal darkness versus the shared experience of that darkness is definitely a parallel that I could see applying to my life as well.
Yeah.
It's that's kind of just been like the story trope of how you approach darkness, whether that's personal or external or evil versus good. It's always the same theme in which you overcome or you succumb. So it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting parallel for sure. Yeah.
Thank you guys for that.
Yeah, we have so many other topics that we haven't even touched yet.
I know.
Because that's why we got to do a part 2. That's why we got to do another one.
We are definitely doing a part 2. It's going to be probably a week or 2 after Kingdom Hearts 3 releases because I still owe Curse of Strahd Cast Part 2. I can't keep delaying them for Kingdom Hearts even though I want to. I'm already taking off a full week from the 29th onward. You will not see me on stream. You will not see me on Mystic Hour. You might see me on stream streaming Kingdom Hearts 3 on my personal Twitch, but you will not see me on Proficiency Bonus
on
at
Tuesday.
All. Hey, Tuesday. You might see
Might both be streaming it.
Yeah, I think I might be streaming it on my personal Twitch channel. So if you're interested in that, go check me out at Mysticwater88 on Twitch. And I will probably be streaming that if you're interested, but I'm sure everyone else is going to be playing it, so who knows.
Yeah. If you do see her on the back of a milk carton, please call your local authority.
She's just in her room in a hole of Kingdom Hearts 3. It's fine. Don't call the cops until about 1.5 weeks later. Give me 9 days, and then you can.
And then call the police.
And then call the police.
The police is gonna come in your room. You're like, I gotta finish this last boss.
I'm not done yet. Any last thoughts, BBs? Any closing thoughts based off whatever you want to talk about in terms of Kingdom Hearts in general?
Definitely hit us up. Because we're doing no spoilers, I will say I want to hear your thoughts on social media if you're out there, but I know that Kristy is shutting down her social media specifically to play through and make sure she doesn't see anything, hear anything. I'm going to shoot that I will have this game completed in a week's time. So I would know. That's what I'm
try.
60 hours.
I will try and match you then. I will try and match you because I'm definitely going to be probably streaming it. Like, I will try to match you. So hopefully I will be on the same page as you. So
I'm trying for 2 days.
Oh!
I'm trying for it.
Okay, I gotta match you more.
For 2 days.
I'll be in between the two of you. I'll probably get like 4 days. Yeah.
In a week's time after it comes out, hit us up, send us the memes, send us the gifts. There's definitely gonna be quotable moments. You want to hear all of it.
Hashtag Mystic Hour at Mysticwater.
Yes.
Do it. Are we good? Is that about it, everybody?
Nah, I just hope that Sora gets bodied in Kingdom Hearts 3. That's it.
Bodied
Give
by
me
Aqua.
Aqua back. Fuck you, Sora.
Get the fuck out and Aqua in. Yes, please.
Oh, we never talked about that, Lip. The Aqua eyes either. The darkness.
Aqua was
so sad.
Chat's been going real hard on that because everybody's still saying the same thing. We think that she's gonna be Norded. She's gonna catch the herps. So.
We gonna dream drop ourselves into her Inception
She's
arc.
Been vaccinated. It's fine.
And we're gonna help her, and then we're gonna get bodied by Nord in her dreams because it's all a big trap.
Oh, jeez.
Thank you all.
It's all a trap. It's all a convoluted trap. It's fine, guys. We'll come to the dark side.
Hashtag Daddy Nort.
Hashtag Daddy Nort. Hashtag Mystic Hour.
Oh, here, look. You want to see the Ultima weapon?
Yes.
It's so cute.
Oh, yeah!
Here you are. It's so nice.
Number 2. It was the only one to play. It's the only one to play.
Got you, babies. Thank you so much, BBs. Thank you so much to Liv for helping organize these questions and topics, and thanks for Dale for joining us because you're my other Kingdom Hearts expert in my life, who I love so much, my little twin. Thank you both for being here. Thank you all for watching. Also, remember to check out dicebar.com, the official sponsor of Proficiency Bonus. Go to dicebar.com and enter the coupon code PROBO, PROBO, on checkout for free expedited shipping to anywhere in the world for dice sets and D&D merchandise. They're pretty awesome. Vancouver-based company. Pretty cool. That's about it. I will see you guys... not next week. I will not see you next week. I will see you guys tomorrow for Storm King's Thunder, and then probably Insight Check, and then you will not see me ever again until Kingdom Hearts 3 is done. No, I'm kidding. You will see me the following week for Mystic Hour for Curse of Strahd Part 2, and I should be back again fully to our regularly scheduled programs. Remember to check out the doobly-doo downstairs with the schedule, and I will see you guys in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
She said doobly-doo.
Doobly-doo. You know who it is. The doobly-doo.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, love you, bye! Okay, love you, bye!